What we found was that there were a group of students that weren't really being served by the learning styles of the IB diploma, that needed more creative, active learning styles. But more importantly than that, when I start to look at the future and I look at the skills that our students are going to need in the future, they're skills that are applied, they're real-world skills, there may be less tangible skills, and they certainly extend beyond the learning of information and the regurgitation of that information in written form. So we need to have courses which develop those wider set of skills that will be important for our students in the future, and the BTEC courses deliver on those skills.
Students who graduate with advanced diploma in engineering, they will have opportunities here in Hong Kong working with local businesses. Obviously then going off to they could go off to higher education such as university or colleges anywhere around the world. The most important thing about the learning environment here at West Island is the fact that the students have access to all of this great equipment, tools and machinery here. So students will get a chance to work on the lathe, the milling machine, a few of the drill presses, obviously the TIG and MIG welders. So the learning environment here is specifically designed for the engineering course. So the opportunities within the learning environment are great and many.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think that students should take this course because it's an empowering course beyond the content that students will gain. They will become, I believe, far more autonomous than students will through a traditional academic subject. They will gain confidence in the work that they do through the course. And most of all, they will be able to work at their own ability and measure their own progress in a far more valid way than being compared to a whole cohort who may sit a particular exam at a particular date.
Over the course, all the work that you do are mainly about group work and stuff, and I like interacting with other students, so it makes it more fun to learn. And also you do more with your independent work as well.
I hope to go into law. I'm not really sure yet, but yeah, law would be something I really want to go into. Or maybe hotel management, since I'm learning travel and tourism and food technology. It's a great combination.
The IB course is very broad in its subjects, and there is quite a lot to fit into such a short space of time. I think the IB course is very good for people who want a broad range of subjects for their future, whereas the BTEC is more specified and it's more easygoing. Not easier in any way, but it's a bit more focused and relaxed, and you know exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to make your brain suddenly switch to some other different subject. You can stay focused on one specific thing.
I think it gives a student an excellent grounding for the future if they are serious about pursuing arts vocationally after 18.
It gives students a real chance to develop their artistic skills and pursue their own interests. So the projects and the units can both be tailored to meet the requirements of the individual student themselves. So once they acquire an interest, some kind of real specialism and love of an area, they can have that running through their work too.
I enjoy that we basically get to focus on one subject, and that most of our timetable is spent doing art, and it's really enjoyable being in this kind of peaceful environment where everybody's doing the same thing.
I think our students will certainly disperse around the globe, and this is a course that will get them ready for a variety of settings. I know that in Australia they could perhaps move on to TAFE, which is further education, that is more vocational as well. It could also springboard them into a foundational course within a university, or also to become a practicing artist themselves.
there are lots of kids that just don't want to wait till the end of a year or 2 years to find out how they've got on. So I think that there's a lot of appeal in the courses that we're putting on for children who've got particular learning styles, but also for students who've got very particular ideas about where they want to go and what they want to do. And for some of them, again, they've got a very practical idea about the kind of courses that they want to do at university. And the BTEC 3s are going to give them a much more direct route into that and give them a lot more experience of something that when they get to university will then help in their progression there.
We're having a business day. It's sort of just for the students to see what it's like to be a part of a business, to be part of a team.
The classroom environment and the other environment, just like today, is about putting it into practice. Quite often we learn things in theory but are not able to put them into practice. This course is very practical, so the students typically learn by learning in this sort of environment, or they go into the workplace and learn in the workplace. If they're not doing that, the classroom would be typical role plays or making videos or making films to show that they understand and they can put what they've learned into practice in a practical way.
I think that there are many courses in many countries and many institutions which students from the Advanced Diploma business course could attend. I know that there are many polytechnics and universities who would welcome students with these practical skills because they offer courses which are just related to the same sort of skills but perhaps at a higher level. And I think that our students would be able to move into those courses very easily.
In order to personalize my learning, I always choose to focus on study companies that I like or aspire to work for, such as I'm interested in internet companies such as Google and Yahoo. So I try to study more on those and more creative companies that interest me. Yep.
Previously, during business lessons, we've learned all sorts of things to do with marketing, human resources, and how to set up a business, what a mission statement is, and how you could attract people to start investing in your business. And all this was incorporated in what we've been doing.
Very valuable to the education. I say it's about moving away from the books and actually trying to apply what you have learnt in textbooks. And hopefully with some of the business industry people here, giving a different perspective at the same time.
I think quite often, and having been through an education myself where it was very distinct to what happens in real life, you don't actually get reality thrown into the theory. So this is very much about embedding them in what happens in real life, and it's a fabulous opportunity. I think a lot of them have been a little bit thrown by some of the questions that the industry people have walked around and thrown at them, but it's really demonstrating what it means to work in the real world.
They'll do 4 weeks of work experience over the 2 years, so they've got that opportunity to go into a workplace and understand how that works, and that will make them far more confident when they're leaving school to go and approach employers, to go and do interviews, because they'll have done it before. They'll have gone through the whole job application process before they actually leave school, which is a really good opportunity for them.
You have a lot of free time to do homework within school. You're able to go out of the classroom and do more practical activities compared to the IB course.
This money will generate, we need to times that by 4, so if the government...
They can go on to do a combination of courses. Generally they're business sort of related and focused. Alternatively, students can go on to get an apprenticeship within a working environment. They can go on to a training programme in a business setting, or they can just go out into the world of work, as some students do after studying the Advanced Diploma programme.
I really enjoy the work experience that we have. We get to go to different places, that we sort out our own work placement, and that really helps us get an idea of different businesses and how they work and how they run.
The practical side of it, I enjoy not having exams, and the fact that we're marked on all our coursework, it gives me more time to think about how I'm going to write things and how I'm going to lay things out. I find that suits me better, so that's what I find good about the course. I hopefully am aiming to go to university in England and do a business management degree.
Our Advanced Diploma students choose to continue their education in colleges and universities in different parts of the world, such as UNSW and Monash in Australia, SCAD and NYU in the US, Dundee, Manchester and University of Arts in the UK, and CU and PolyU in Hong Kong.
Everybody's got walking out the door.
This course really suits people who
want to work in practical situations, who are creative. They're going to have to be creative. They're going to have to be able to be well organised and coordinate activities, work within a group and be disciplined. The big difference between BTECs and A-levels or IB is that all of it is ongoing assessment. So there will be regular assessment intervals, a very clear assessment structure. Students know very clearly where they are throughout the course. It's all coursework based. It's not. It doesn't rely on a final exam piece where it's kind of all or nothing.
The difference between our traditional based exams to the BTEC Sport is that students will be in the classroom one day planning an event and then next week out there actually doing the event. So it's more practically based and they're getting out there in the wider community.
Obviously you need to have an enjoyment and love of sport, because hopefully it'll prepare you then for further education courses such as sports science, sports exercise, physiology and just general any course involved in the sporting scene. So it's a great stepping stone for further opportunities around the world. The rooms at South Island School have been set up specifically for the fashion course. So we've actually developed an environment where the students can interact with industrial machines, use special print processing and experience three-dimensional modelling using professional mannequins. There are lots of design-based courses within Hong Kong where the students could progress onto higher education courses or university courses in Europe, America or other parts of Asia. Or the actual course will enable the students to go directly into the industry and work their way up progressively through the fashion industry.
I think it's been such an important year for our students that took this course, and I think it's looking at how they developed as individuals during the time that they were on the course. I mean, when they came in, it hadn't been a very successful time for them at GCSE, so they came in feeling lacking in confidence, feeling a little insecure in their learning, and a bit worried about what the assessment was going to mean to them. It's been amazing, the difference that we've seen in those children.